We will be here forever. Do you understand? Forever. Forever and ever and ever and ever.
Yeah, we back with the homie.
Tom Bizzle, man. What up?
What's good, y'all?
King Michael. Yes, sir.
What's good, Jimmy Hennessy?
Man,
I know, man.
Chilling, man.
I found out probably like a couple of weeks ago that make sure you close to that mic too. Found out like a couple of weeks ago that you and Hennessy had history. I didn't even know y'all knew each other, man.
Yeah, man. We
That's
actually
crazy.
kind of go back really randomly though. Not even like Atlanta affiliated shit.
Down there.
Let me hear that story, man.
Tell them about it.
Where was that though?
It was Valdosta.
Valdosta, yeah.
Yep.
No, we just got a buddy named Eric who I was like, I guess I was dating a girl at the time that knew him from high school or something. He had hit me up. He thought the music was dope and whatnot, and he wanted to book us for a show out in Valdosta.
Mm-hmm.
What was the name of that place? It's called like Blazer's Tavern.
Blazer's
I don't know how the hell I remember that shit.
Blazer's Tavern.
But yeah, I can't remember even like where we were. Blazer's Tavern. Yeah, and he basically put together this little show, and Jimmy performed, and I performed. That's about what I remember that night. We got pretty fucked up.
Shit, they actually stayed.
And we ended up like staying like 3 days.
Yeah.
Hold on, how y'all stay 3 days? Yeah, that is like
For real.
That's like some tour right there. Like you just come and chill in the city.
But we just like toured their like house for days and drank all their liquor and ate all their food. Yeah, we did go to a pool party. I remember that.
I missed that one.
That's crazy.
I missed that, man.
Yeah, you didn't miss much.
I know.
But actually, we've met since then too. Was that you remember? You were just talking about what's that dude's name? Clorox. We drove out to one of his shows
in Marietta,
on like the burbs. Yeah, and I think we ran into you there.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy, man.
We were fucked up, and it's
Hey, it seems like it's a cycle going on here. Like what's going on, man?
I don't know, man. We just be fucked up.
Cool,
For
man.
real though. So yeah, man. What's popping, man? What's new? What's new?
Shit, man. I mean, same old shit, dude, I guess. I mean, we're just trucking away at music, grinding, whatnot. Been writing a lot. I'm working on a mixtape yet to be kind of announced. So I don't really even have like the promo material to be like, yo, it's dropping this day or whatever. It's still kind of like...
You're just working. You're working right
Gotcha.
now.
But the most recently was... I've been kind of focused on getting out more visuals and music videos.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just dropped a video called Sloppy Seconds, which features Ritz, who's a longtime buddy of mine. He's signed with Strange Music, which is Tech Nine's label.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
And about 2 months before that, I dropped a video with a guy named Jaron Benton, who I know y'all are probably aware of both of these guys.
Yeah.
Jaron Benton is signed with Funk Volume Records, which is probably most known for like Hobson.
Yeah.
But another guy that like I kind of came up with doing a bunch of shows and personal friend and associate rapper or whatever. So the thing that made these videos interesting though is not only did I star them, but I also like directed them and kind of like just took my hand at that,
I can see that.
I did like everything. I like put together the set. I like got the props. All the people that are in them are like buddies of mine that I just got to come out and dress up like zombies or whatever have you. So that was fun. I mean, that was cool. It was like a lot of work, but
it looked like a good time though, man. I just watched it actually.
Like we were just talking about that. Like, man, how do you create a video like that? You know what I mean? Like, how do you even? And you said you did a lot of the work yourself, of course. So I know a lot of work went into it.
That's
how you do it.
You just like fucking just. I mean, I don't know. Part of it was just like. I mean, everybody's trying to make money, so it's like you can't be mad at nobody. But you go to these like people who shoot videos, and it's like. It's $2,000, and whatever have you. And I think I'm a pretty creative dude. So, part of what you're paying for is that like ingenuity or whatever, their vision and what have you. But for me, I was just like, two things happened. I've met a guy who wanted to start a company called Magic Studios, and he offered to shoot the videos for relatively cheap, cheaper than anybody around here. But but it required me to basically do everything. Like put together the people, whatever, find the locations, what have you. So I just did that shit.
That's dope.
I just was like, I was like, I want to do this. So I'd go buy the costumes and kind of organize. I've always organized parties and things like that. So I just kind of took like the back end of last year, and instead of being like, I'm going to throw all these shows, and I was just like, man, I'm just going to throw these big parties. Only I'm going to get everybody to dress up like a fucking zombie and be in a video. You know, it's more viable, you know, especially when you're like indie, because when you're indie, you know, you can do a show, and that's dope, but like, it kind of only goes as far as who was, you know, in those four walls, you know? You might make some money or whatnot, but when you record it and you make something like, you know, more tangible to like outside, you know, you can use it for like so many more things, you know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, those videos.
And it stands out too, you know?
Yeah, and it's part of a resume now that I can, you know, I can show to somebody and whatever have you. And plus it was good because both of those dudes have been doing really well, so having them on the videos is cool. And I've actually got 2 more on the way that are like solo songs that I haven't dropped yet that are, you know, so this new project I'm working on.
Okay, I was just about
to. Videos are done. I got 2 songs, you know, at least. Yeah, it's at least gonna have 2 songs on that motherfucker. I might just drop the videos and quit.
Just drop the videos like
done with this shit.
So no, I'm hearing you though, and it's like, you know, it's funny you say that, man, because, you know, being an indie artist and you're doing a lot of work yourself. And, you know, just that last thing you said, you can tell, like, sometimes that workload becomes frustration. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because you depend on you. You know what I mean? If you don't want to get up and do it, then there's nobody moving those wheels for you. You know what I mean? So I can hear that, man. Like, with that being said, it's like, how challenging is it for you to finish this next project with all the stuff that's going on?
It's tough, but it'll be, you know, old hat. It's sort of like what I've been doing the whole time. You know, I mean, we've had managers and different things, but, you know, it's been, you know, it's definitely been like financial restraints and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Balancing doing music with, you know, just having a regular life and whatever have you. And, you know, if you want something done, sometimes you just got to like do it, you know, because most people, I just find that a lot of people kind of like lollygag and don't get the job done, and then suddenly, you know, if you rely on like too many people, you know, someone won't bring the costumes or they won't get the right people there. So sometimes I end up, which is probably just like you know, it's just me or whatever. Sometimes I take on like a lot of responsibility, but you know, it's all, but at the end of the day, it's all for the like the Tom P thing, which I happen to be.
Yeah, you just have to be Tom P.
So it's for myself. I can't get like mad at anybody and be like, why doesn't everybody care about my dreams and aspirations as an artist?
Yeah, that's real though.
At least you know it's gonna get done though.
Yeah,
you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? So how did this interview come about with XXL, man?
That was pretty like random, man. I mean, we put out Roof of the Underdog. That was probably, I guess that was 2011, and it just did pretty well, man. I mean, we got a lot of buzz moving in the city. I was doing a bunch of shows. You know, we went on like a little tour with like Bone Thugs. We opened for like a bunch of people actually in like a pretty short span of time. I'd done a release party for the album and at the Quad. And you know what the Quad is?
Quad is like Spring, right? Yeah.
And we had like over 1,000 people come, and you know the press knew about it and all these articles, and then just suddenly it just seemed like some of that stuff just sort of seemed to happen. Like just suddenly I'd get a call like, "Hey, XXL wants to interview you for this or that, or whoever have you." And
I remember driving up. You ain't see me that night, I don't think, but I drove up here. You had a show. It was on Spring Street. It's called something else right now.
Enclave? Is it Enclave?
But it was something else back then.
Or Envy. Might have been Club Envy.
For a while, if you're talking about that, I think that was like a gay club for a while.
No,
I know, right? Yeah,
it's like way back in the day, bro. Way back in the day. I don't know if you saw me or not, but
you was definitely in there.
I saw you
while I was in there.
You're probably talking about Envy though. Like,
I know you performed, you rocked that bitch, and B.O.B. performed that night too.
Oh yeah, that was the Spring 4th Center.
Oh okay, Spring 4th. Yeah.
And that was around the same time too. I don't know. I'm not sure which came first, but
no, you killed that right there, man.
Oh, thanks.
You killed that. I mean, you would think it'll be the other way around. Bob killed it too, but he killed that shit. Like, for real.
I know what you're saying. It's like that brings me to my next question though, man. It's just like that importance of a live show. You know what I mean? Because like being an independent artist, you know, the music can only go so far. You know, your show. Yeah. It's really where it's at.
Well, shows, I definitely have utilized shows, and a lot of time even with shows, same as the videos, I tend to find myself, as probably just about every indie artist in Atlanta does, there's kind of this expectancy of you to also play promoter, you know, which a lot of people like can't just feasibly do, you know.
Can't do,
we've always been pretty blessed to have like a pretty solid following and fan base, so you know we can kind of do that. But you know, I've gotten to a point where it's definitely like if I'm gonna do something that requires me to like put all that extra, you know, all that time into promoting and making sure people are there, usually I kind of, you know, once again kind of take on more responsibilities and put like my hand into it to make sure I benefit the most possible, you know. Right. So like if I'm gonna do a show, usually you'll get like every motherfucker in there is gonna get my CD, you know, by someone at the door. It's part of the admission fee. That's my or something, you know, because you know that's you kind of have to just to make sure you get the most out of something like that, you know, and that it continues to spread past, like I said, those four walls, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, man.
Or you make sure someone's there to blog about it, or you know.
Yeah, that's that experience talking right there.
I mean, that's what it is, man. It's like you know, it's those small things that make the difference. Like you said, making sure that you got press at your event, even if you just calling blogs yourself and telling them like, look, come out to my event, get in, you and, you know, your part of your team get in free, cover the event, make sure you write on it. If you want to interview, you can wait out there and interview. It just builds anticipation and, you know. Yeah. That's where it's at, man, really.
Yeah.
Those small things, man.
I learned something from every artist that come up there.
Hey.
I'm sitting there, I'm klepto right now. I'm taking all this shit in. I use this shit for myself. But nah, it's all good. But yeah. So I want to go back to this video. Who shot this video again? The Jared Benton video?
Oh, they were both filmed by this dude. His name is Jeff Hamrick. And like I said, there's two more coming that one of them's going to be fucking crazy. But yeah, the cat named Jeff Hamrick. I actually met him when we were on tour with Bone Thugs and Harmony. He was just like a dude in the audience. And he came up to us after the show. We like exchanged numbers, kept in touch. Years later, he's trying to start up this film company. And
the stars aligned, man.
Yeah, he came down to Atlanta. So yeah, man, I'm happy with the videos, and I mean, you know, within, you know, relatively, I mean, they're not like billions of views, but you know, I put that one out like a month ago, and it's pushing like 50,000 or something, which is at least like probably the quickest growth we've had with any of them, you know.
That's the Rick's video, Sloppy Seconds?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jared Benton video actually has more than it, but it's been out about a month longer.
Gotcha.
So, but that one's catching up pretty quick. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I think it'd be cool to break 100,000 views in a matter of like a month and a half or something, which is what that's looking like if it stays on that.
Like, why not?
That'll be good for me, you know. I mean, so it's cool, man. A lot of people are watching it, and people in the comments section and whatnot everybody seems to be digging it. So.
That's dope, man. I remember we had you on the podcast, Straight Out the Den podcast plug. Subscribe on iTunes. We had you on the podcast. Man, it's probably like over a year ago now, right?
Probably about a year.
Yeah, but I remember you said Bone Thugs, and I instantly remember like the stories, you know, the tour stories, Bone Thugs, and was it with Tech Nine and all that? Were you on tour with Tech?
All of that. Part of Tech Nine, a tour with Tech.
Yeah, man, it was just like crazy, you know, crazy stories, man. Any other new things popped up, you know, in the year time? I know, like, there's so much stuff that happens in a year.
I mean, I'm sure.
He's like, I'm sure.
There's kind of like always crazy shit happening. I don't know. Get my mind working here. Get the wheels turning, Paul. By the way, that's Paul. For the people
man, it's Paul. Paul's a cool guy, man. He dropped some gems in the podcast
too. He kind of like tags along everywhere I go. I throw him scraps of food and women. I'm just kidding. That's like my right hand man. He's like he does my hype man work for live shows, and then kind of helps out sort of where he can with other things. He was a zombie in the Jared Benton video.
There you go.
For instance.
I was thinking,
a drunk ass zombie who was there way before we actually started shooting and got really wasted. 2 hours before the camera.
That's crazy. It's like, hey, I'm here. I'm ready whenever you want me to be ready, man. You know, I know you want me to be zombie, so I'm trying to get prepared for my role. I feel you. No, but you know, with him being a hype man and just the importance of a hype man, I don't think a lot of people understand that, because like being a performer sometimes, to control that whole crowd by yourself can be a lot, you know what I mean? So like, just to speak on his behalf a little bit, man, like having a hype man and having somebody who, you know, literally knows every one of your lyrics. You know what I mean? Like, how is that helpful for you? You know, doing your stage performance.
Well, I mean, it takes a lot of work to know all that. It's definitely helpful because, for one, when I perform, I don't use like backtracks. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of rappers try to cut that corner, and they don't realize that, like, for an audience watching, it really waters down your the performance. Like, you know what I mean? Like, would you go see a rock band who was like, "Y'all ready to rock?" and then just like played their CD and like pretended or something? You know? It'd be ridiculous, right? But so why is that so acceptable? You know? And a lot of time it just seems like, it's like when you do that, it's like you're performing more for yourself to be like, I'm on stage and I'm the shit, more so than are you actually trying to engage with the audience. And when you do it without the backtrack, you might fuck up here and there, but it's like it's all kind of part of the live feel. Like you catch it, you know, whatever. And that's why he's helpful, because I mean, if for anybody who's heard my music, it's, you know, I try to, you know, do some complicated lyrical things, you know, and like they're, you know, and it's not that it's like too difficult, but it's a good element to add, you know, so you don't end up also like super out of breath and just up there like sweaty and out of breath. You know? Because when we perform, we usually do 30-minute to an hour shows, and sometimes at the longest. You know,
man, that's a long show.
It kicks your ass, man. I mean, it's like it's actually like a workout.
Yeah, that's true.
I always like to see artists with the same circle.
Yeah,
because that's how I met.
Yeah, and it's still like that today.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's dope. I'm
a fan of it too, man. Like you need that, because, well, I guess the key is to find the solid people early on. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you have to shift things around, but when you got a solid team, solid foundation, it's easier to grow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, moving on.
We definitely switched to that team quite a few times. I won't lie. Paul's one of the last ones I haven't kicked out yet.
I haven't kicked out.
We've got a few other people who help out for sure.
Yeah.